This real bad boy is the chairman of Mu Company, named Ziqi. In the middle of the night, he called his assistant Yuan Xia to the bar. Meanwhile, Ziqi was gambling on billiards, darts, and table tennis. Seeing Yuan Xia, Ziqi blamed her for coming and causing him to lose his bet, forcing him to finish all this alcohol. Yuan Xia wanted to drink for her boss, but Xiao Li stopped her. He showed off his manliness and drank instead. Seeing Xiao Li getting close to her, Ziqi took a bottle of wine and dragged him to the bathroom. Unexpectedly, Xiao Li suddenly fainted. Ziqi quickly called for someone to check the camera outside. Yuan Xia dispersed everyone. She advised Ziqi not to be reckless because the shareholders' meeting was next week. Seeing Ziqi getting loud, Yuan Xia had no choice but to break down the door and barge in. Ziqi comforted his assistant. Less violence. Xiao Li is just drunk, so he's just sleeping. Yuan Xia splashed wine on Ziqi. She told him to pretend to be drunk so he could safely retreat. As the alcohol took effect, Ziqi went home and stumbled up the stairs. Afraid that her boss would fall asleep, Yuan Xia decided to stay to wake him up the next morning. At this time, Lin Yu called Boss Wei and reported that the plan had failed. It turned out that he had drugged Ziqi's alcohol to harm him before the shareholders' meeting, but Xiao Li drank it instead. Boss Wei told Lin Yu to take care of Yuan Xia and continue to follow Ziqi, but everything was under Ziqi's control. He had already known that his subordinate was playing tricks. The video also showed his little assistant risking her life to save her boss, which made Ziqi happy. He quietly went downstairs and looked at Yuan Xia. Seeing her wake up, he went back to his room and looked down. In his hand was Yuan Xia's high school ID card. Timing when to wake up the boss, Yuan Xia went up and knocked on the door. Ziqi pretended to be asleep and didn't get up. Yuan Xia secretly listened to the noise in the room. Her boss suddenly opened the door, causing her to fall into his chest. Ziqi liked it very much but pretended to be sleepy. Afraid that she wouldn't be able to afford her boss car if there was a collision, Yuan Xia invited him to get in her car. Ziqi complained about his assistant's car, but he had to get in. He tiredly dragged his feet to the company. Seeing a female employee approach Ziqi, Yuan Xia quickly interrupted, not forgetting to tell her colleague to stay away from him. Hearing her boss complain about the air conditioner not turning on, Yuan Xia quickly invited him into the cold room. She had prepared it beforehand. It turned out that the air conditioner outside the office was broken, but the repairman wouldn't be there until afternoon. Ziqi zoomed in on the phone screen to admire his little assistant. Yuan Xia went in to submit the contract for her boss to sign. He made an excuse that he was busy playing games and asked Yuan Xia to read the documents to him. Seeing that her legs were tired, Ziqi told Yuan Xia to sit down and read. He was engrossed in looking at Yuan Xia. Afraid that she would get a sore throat, he quickly signed. Yuan Xia asked to leave early 2 hours beforehand. She told him to turn up the temperature in the room and then go to sleep, talking to Chen Chen. Yuan Xia thought that her boss was deliberately letting her sit in the air-conditioned room for a while. She said she was taking an early leave to go on a blind date. Ziqi went to look for Yuan Xia, but Chen Chen said she just went home for a blind date. Ziqi hurried to find Yuan Xia. He got into the driver's seat and offered to take her to the blind date. Then he asked her to drive him home afterwards. Ziqi kept getting lost. He thought that if the blind date couldn't wait, then she didn't have sincerity. The brakes suddenly didn't work, and Ziqi quickly calmed down. He asked Yuan Xia to help him find a deserted road to drive through to stop the car. He had to crash into the barrier and hugged Yuan Xia to protect her. Ziqi called Dr. Xing Nan for help. Seeing that Yuan Xia was safe, he finally breathed a sigh of relief. Ziqi thought that because of the bar incident, Boss Wei had done something to Yuan Xia's car. Xing Nan thought that he wouldn't dare to kill Ziqi before the shareholders' meeting because he held his father's will. If Ziqi had an accident, 54% of the shares would go to charity, so he decided to target assistant Xia. Ziqi was worried that she would be in danger by his side. Yuan Xia looked at the phone that was damaged in the accident. She charged her old phone to use temporarily. She remembered that her Uncle Heng had given her this phone years ago. Early in the morning, Yuan Xia was stunned because she was fired. She went to the company to question Ziqi. Why did you fire me? Ziqi made an excuse that Yuan Xia was troublesome and had almost gotten him killed. Out of respect for the past 2 years, he gave her a large sum of compensation. Yuan Xia thought Ziqi was fond of playing around, but his character wasn't bad. But she was wrong about him. Yuan Xia angrily left. After walking a few steps, she fainted. Ziqi thought she was pretending, but it turned out to be real. At the hospital, Xing Nan said that Yuan Xia fainted because she was too angry and her blood sugar dropped. Ziqi blamed himself for firing Yuan Xia. He was afraid that Boss Wei wouldn't dare to harm him, but he wouldn't show any mercy to Yuan Xia. He asked Xing Nan to find a way to keep Yuan Xia in the hospital until the shareholders' meeting ended. Waiting for Yuan Xia to wake up, Xing Nan hesitated to ask for her family's contact information. Sensing something was wrong, Yuan Xia grabbed the test results. It said she had pancreatic cancer. Xing Nan explained that the results belonged to someone else, but Yuan Xia thought he was just comforting her in her pain. Yuan Xia received a call from a stranger. He asked if the current time was March 1, 2024. He told Yuan Xia not to go to the hotel by the lake to find Ziqi on December 31, 2024. However, Yuan Xia didn't care because now she didn't even have the money to treat her serious illness. Meanwhile, Ziqi went to find Boss Wei. He said he wanted to buy a supercar, but the accountant under his uncle refused to approve the expenditure. Boss Wei promised to bring the car to him tomorrow. Ziqi wondered, "The company is left to me by my father. Isn't the money mine?" Boss Wei assured him that after the shareholders' meeting, Ziqi would take over the company and no one would dare stop him from spending money anymore. But Ziqi was afraid that he was going to die. He told Boss Wei that his assistant almost sent him to meet his father at the bottom of the sea, so he fired her. Boss Wei pondered, is Ziqi really stupid or acting? His assistant thought that Boss Wei had arranged for Lin Yu to be by his side for 11 years, and he hadn't discovered anything. But Boss Wei still had doubts when Ziqi compensated Yuan Xia with a large sum of money. Ziqi continued to party and live a lavish lifestyle. Yuan Xia unexpectedly showed up to demand her severance pay in front of Boss Wei's henchmen. Ziqi scolded Yuan Xia for acting like a victim. He told Lin Yu to throw her out, ignoring her pleas. He jumped into the pool and continued to play. Xiao Li offered to invite Yuan Xia to work as his assistant. Ziqi told Yuan Xia to bend down and listen to him explain how to get money. He unexpectedly dunked her underwater. Yuan Xia bragged that she had pancreatic cancer and needed money for treatment. However, Ziqi didn't believe her. He forced her to finish a bottle of wine before giving her the money. Seeing Yuan Xia recklessly drinking alcohol, Ziqi remembered when he was choosing an assistant. He recognized Yuan Xia at first glance. It turned out that when he was desperate and about to abandon everything, Yuan knocked on the door and asked him not to leave her. She made him promise to watch the meteor shower with her next week. Ziqi pretended to choose Yuan Xia at random, but he had actually been waiting a long time to meet the little girl from his past. Yuan Xia finished the whole bottle of wine in one gulp. However, Ziqi said he didn't have any money. Yuan Xia angrily slapped Ziqi. She said that being his assistant was the biggest regret of her life. Her degree was only used to translate comics about his conquests for him. She told herself that Ziqi was a bit of a playboy, but his character wasn't bad. He wasn't like those who were born with a silver spoon, looking down on others. If she could go back in time, she hoped she had never met Ziqi. Looking at Yuan Xia's back, Ziqi felt a deep ache in his heart, but still had to act indifferent. He made an excuse to go try out his new supercar and left. Lin Yu reported Ziqi's outrageous behavior to Boss Wei. He told Lin Yu to keep a close eye on him to see if he went to visit Yuan Xia. In the car, Ziqi called Dr. Xing Nan and asked him to prepare some ginger tea for Yuan Xia. Afraid that Boss Wei would pay more attention to Yuan Xia after the recent incident, he decided to reveal his cards to him. Seeing Lin Yu following Ziqi, he blocked him and dragged him down to beat him up. At that moment, Boss Wei called. Ziqi asked why he was concerned about his and Yuan Xia's business. Boss Wei flipped out. He said that Ziqi wouldn't have his father's will to protect him after the shareholders' meeting, revealing that Ziqi's father's death was not an accident. Boss Wei invited him to the Delin Club. He told Qin Ba to prepare to make Ziqi obediently sign the share transfer agreement. The old phone rang. The stranger who called before said that Yuan Xia wasn't sick, to make her believe him. He revealed tonight's lottery numbers and mentioned the Delin Club before the phone died. Xing Nan came in and reminded Yuan Xia to have her wisdom teeth pulled. She wondered why she wasn't treated for cancer first. She brought 2 test results and confronted Xing Nan. If you don't tell the truth, I'll report you for being a bad doctor. Xing Nan swore that he kept her in the hospital for her own good. He let her read the message that Ziqi had told him to take care of Yuan Xia, though he didn't know why Ziqi kept her in the hospital. Yuan Xia insisted on being discharged immediately. Xing Nan secretly sent a message to Ziqi. Yuan Xia went back to Aunt Sun's place to eat wonton soup. Hearing the TV advertisement for the lottery, she rushed to buy the same numbers as the person in the phone call said. On this side, Ziqi got a message from his spy that Yuan Xie had just gotten out of the hospital and bought a lottery ticket. Chen Bo advised him to transfer the shares to Wei to protect his life. Meanwhile, Yuan Xia was checking the lottery results. She was ecstatic because she won the grand prize. But she was startled because everything the stranger said was true. Remembering his mention of the Delin Club, Yuan Xia went there to check it out. She saw Ziqi being harassed by a bunch of thugs and sped over to save him. He faced his enemies while Ziqi fought back to protect Yuan Xia. Ziqi's spy arrived just in time. He pulled Yuan Xia and ran. Seeing the car, Ziqi told Yuan Xia to get in. He grabbed her hand, pulled her close to him, and ran away. Chen Bo was blocking their path. It turned out he was the person Ziqi had planted to keep an eye on Boss Wei. On the other side, Ziqi asked Xing Nan to pick up Ni Ning and take her home. Yuan Xia asked about Wei's true colors. He explained. He was watching me like a hungry tiger, so before I officially got the shares, I had to pretend to be a playboy to put him at ease. I didn't expect him to target Yuan Xia. She realized Ziqi purposely got fired to keep her safe. But why did you go against your instincts and steer the car straight into the barrier when it broke down? Following the plot of a drama, Yuan Xia guessed that he was using her to trick Boss Wei. Ziqi tried to explain, but Yuan Xia ignored him, because she was still wondering why he came to the meeting tonight knowing that Boss Wei would do something sneaky. He said, "If I didn't go, I was afraid he would harm the most important person to me." Yuan Xia didn't expect Dr. Xing to be that important to Boss Wei. Ziqi confessed, "I do everything for you. I like you." Yuan Xia said she wasn't falling for that trick. She boasted that she had just won the lottery, but her ticket got ripped when she saved Ziqi. Ziqi remembered Yuan Xia's message to never give up on herself, how she saved him by buying him a bowl of noodles, and how her tiny figure brought him out of the fog and into the sunlight. Ziqi declared he would compensate Yuan Xia for her lottery loss. Boss Wei had spent all his money and only had this much left. He promised to make up for it after the meeting tomorrow. But first, he had to do something big with her tomorrow. Early the next morning, Assistant Xia dressed up and went with Ziqi. Ni Ning went along too. At the shareholders' meeting, Boss Wei announced that Ziqi had transferred his shares. He even played a video of Ziqi voluntarily signing the agreement. But it was a video that Boss Wei had set up with the bar owner to frame Ziqi. Boss Wei showed up. He revealed that Chen Bo and the other shareholders were just following his father's will to help him cleanse the organization. He had gathered enough evidence that Boss Wei was embezzling funds and stealing company assets. Ziqi appointed Ni Ning to head the PR department and Yuan Xia as the director of public relations. Seeing Boss Wei go crazy, Ziqi said he had discovered that the last call his father received before he died was from Boss Wei. He had said that in the near future, he would make Ziqi lose everything. Even though they had caught Boss Wei, Ziqi was still worried that he was hiding something. Xing Nan reminded his friend that he had fired Yuan Xia and canceled her lottery ticket. He told Ziqi to get Yuan Xia drunk, and when she was tipsy, tell her about his life under the clutches of Boss Wei, which would move her. Ziqi decided he would make her remember who he was. Chen Bo called to report that there was a car blocking the road to save Boss Wei. Ziqi guessed that he had some powerful backers. Yuan Xia resigned as director of public relations because of Ziqi. She blamed him for making decisions without consulting her, whether it was firing her or appointing her. Ziqi apologized for hurting Yuan Xia. She agreed to forgive him. Ziqi reminded Yuan Xia to be careful because Boss Wei had escaped. On the way to the police station and on the way back, Yuan Xia heard Miss Sun bragging about her new granddaughter. She received a call from a stranger. He put the call through to Aunt Sun, asking Yuan Xia to visit her 1-year-old granddaughter. It turned out the stranger was Ziqi from the year 2025. The old phone could connect calls between the two timelines, but only once a day at 12 o'clock. He kept his name a secret and told Yuan Xia not to leave the company. Yuan Xia continued her work at Mu. He watched her choose an outfit for her interview. She reminded her staff to prepare some serious outfits to change Boss Wei's crazy image. Yuan Xia agreed to be the director of public relations. Ziqi told her to speak up about anything she didn't like, and he would change everything. Yuan Xia wanted Boss Wei to change his image to be more approachable to the public, starting with a more mature fashion style. The newspapers reported that Ziqi officially became the chairman of the Mu Group. He said he would focus on researching and developing quantum communication technology, transcending the boundaries of time and space to emphasize a more down-to-earth approach. Ziqi took Yuan Xia to look at green trees and fish. He told her to look at the birds to see if she remembered anything. Yuan Xia thought the bird was just like the boss's poetic soul. She made him pose with the birdcage for a photo. After gathering the information, Yuan Xia asked for permission to leave work and secretly followed Yuan Xia. Ziqi wondered why she didn't remember the parrot from her childhood. Xing Nan claimed that all white parrots in the world looked the same. Ziqi saw Yuan Xia meet her blind date, Pei Shen, who was an employee at a branch of Mu. He confessed that he was in love with the girl, but his parents didn't approve. So he came on a blind date to ask Yuan Xia to act in a play with him. Hearing Ziqi's sarcastic remarks about his rival, Xing Nan urged him to reveal his true identity and stop acting like a grumpy husband. Ziqi deliberately walked past Yuan Xmaye's desk. He received a text message from her that said, "Wear your glasses to avoid bothering the public relations department." Xing Nan bragged that he had found the person who was defaming Ziqi. He decided to use this opportunity to change Yuan Xia's view of him. Looking at Yuan Xia's nameplate, Ziqi remembered how she had asked for his help because someone was bullying her. Introducing himself as Yuan Yuan, the downstairs neighbor, and knowing that he was Uncle Heng's son, Yuan Xia called Ziqi little brother. In the alternate timeline, the future Ziqi suddenly had memories of Ziqi from 2024. He was overjoyed because finally, history could be changed. Meanwhile, Ziqi from 2024 was exposed for his debauchery at a bar. Yuan Xia believed that someone was deliberately targeting him. She made him meet with the two girls mentioned in the rumors. Before Yuan Xia arrived, Ziqi told Cici and Coco to clarify that they didn't have any shady relationship with him. 11 Lin suddenly visited Ziqi. After 2 years abroad, she offered money to Cici and Coco to get them out of her sight. Ziqi advised 11 not to waste her time on him. However, she insisted that she had liked Ziqi since she was a child. He bragged that he had a girlfriend. Yuan Xia arrived and acted like his girlfriend. 11 Lin reminded Ziqi to keep acting. Yuan Xia said she had told her boyfriend to meet Cici and Coco to break off their relationship. 11 Lin still didn't believe it because Ziqi let his girlfriend wear fake shoes. Yuan Xia explained that giving fake shoes was a way of saying goodbye, so she didn't let her boyfriend buy them. Ziqi introduced Yuan Xia as his assistant. They were afraid of the rumors, so they hadn't publicly announced their relationship in the company. Hearing 11 Lin's invitation to her party, Ziqi immediately agreed. It turned out that Yuan Xia had invited an actress to play the role of Ziqi's fiancée, but she suddenly became busy, so Yuan Xia had to fill in. Upon investigation, it was discovered that 11 Lin was a musician, and her father was the fund manager. Yuan Xia advised the boss to date her to clear up the rumors about his womanizing. Ziqi reminded Yuan Xia to be responsible for pretending to be his girlfriend. Furthermore, he went to the party because he was targeting 11's father's investment fund. Ziqi took his fake girlfriend to try on clothes. Yuan Xia's beauty left him mesmerized. The opportunistic guy removed the protective cover as if he was hugging her. Remembering the meaning of giving away shoes, Ziqi made an excuse about exceeding the budget to avoid buying them, but Yuan Xia refused to change. He picked her up and put her on a chair to change her shoes. It turned out that the boss was worried that his assistant would get sore feet from wearing high heels for a long time. 11 Lin was indifferent when she saw Ziqi arrive with his girlfriend. Ziqi gave her a bottle of wine that Yuan Xia had personally chosen. 11 Lin invited Yuan Xia to cut the cake with her. Ziqi made an excuse about his girlfriend being allergic to bellflowers to refuse. People around were whispering that Assistant Yuan was using her charm to seduce the boss. Ziqi told them they should be wondering why a good girl would date someone like him. "You act so high and mighty, mocking my girlfriend for loving money? Don't you ask yourselves if you've ever earned a single honest penny instead of relying on your families? Every penny Yuan Xia earns is from sweat and hard work. I also hope she loves money so she can depend on me a little bit. In this relationship, I'm the one climbing high to reach for Yuan Xia. I'm officially introducing Yuan Xia as Wei Ziqi's girlfriend." Ziqi left first and apologized to Yuan Xia for everything that happened in the past. She said she had forgotten everything from the past. 11 Lin said to her father that Ziqi had a girlfriend. Just then, Ziqi came to greet 11 Kun. 11 Lin started talking to Yuan Xia. One of her female fans came up and asked Yuan Xia to take a photo for her. But her attitude was arrogant, and she even asked Yuan Xia to kneel down to take the picture. Yuan Xia was about to react when 11 Lin stood up for her. 11 Lin admitted that she liked Ziqi, but she hated underhanded tactics. She asserted that she would win Ziqi back fairly. Receiving a call from the alternate timeline, Yuan Xia boasted that she was at a hotel by the lake. Future Ziqi told Yuan Xia to leave immediately. He reminded her not to reveal anything about the phone. On this side, Ziqi apologized for not coming to greet his uncle recently because he was being followed. Levin Kun, who was Ziqi's father's best friend, knew that Ziqi wanted to study quantum communication to fulfill his father's last wish. Levin Kun promised to help Ziqi if he encountered any difficulties. Yuan Xia, who was in the car, saw Boss Wei sneak into the party and tried to call Ziqi, but he didn't answer. Yuan Xia ran in to find him, but she was caught by Boss Wei. He threw Yuan Xia into the swimming pool and stole her handbag. In the alternate timeline, Ziqi from 2025 saw Ziqi jump in to save Yuan Xia. Thinking that history had changed, he happily went to find Yuan Xia, but Xingnan and Ning told him she died a year ago in a home accident in March 2024. Ziqi panicked because he only had 2 hours left before Yuan Xia's accident. Back in 2024, Ziqi rescued Yuan Xia and took her to the hospital. Ning came to visit and showed Yuan Xia the video of Ziqi bravely jumping in to save her. Ning reported that all the cameras around the swimming pool had malfunctioned. Yuan Xia said that Boss Wei had done something sketchy. She asked Ning to get Ziqi's car to retrieve her phone. Meeting Xingnan, Ning used her beauty trick to trick him into getting the car for Ziqi, and she stole Xingnan's car. In Ziqi's car, Xingnan heard the phone ring, and he answered. His expression changed. On this side, Ziqi took Yuan Xia home. He asked her why she came back to the hotel. Yuan Xia said she was afraid he was in danger. Ziqi received a call from Xingnan, who told him that Yuan Xia's friend told her not to go home. Ziqi saw a shadow and ran inside, but the person had escaped. For safety, Ziqi took Yuan Xia to his house to stay. Xingnan returned the car to Ziqi and got his phone back. Yuan Xia asked her friend what he had said. Xingnan remembered that he told her not to go home, or the whole world would know he had never experienced love. Waiting for Yuan Xia to go inside, Ziqi told Xingnan to go home so he could be alone with Yuan Xia. Yuan Xia asked Ziqi if he had a makeup remover. He confirmed that his house didn't have anything for women. Cici and Coco were both actresses. Ziqi breathed a sigh of relief because he had finally made Yuan Xia understand him. Calling Xingnan for advice on cohabiting with his girlfriend, Xingnan was annoyed because his friend was obsessed with girls while he was out of gas on the road. But he still showed Ziqi how to make Yuan Xia fall for him. Ziqi practiced, but accidentally broke Yuan Xia's eggs. Seeing her hand, he gently blew on it. Yuan Xia was angry and made Ziqi clean up the broken eggs. During dinner, Yuan Xia said they would take turns cooking. Ziqi said that his family didn't let women into the kitchen. This was the first time he had cooked at home. Yuan Xia wondered why he had to emphasize that she was the first one to spend the night at his house. He remembered how she used to stay at his house to avoid debt collectors when she was a child. Ziqi said, Yuan Xia wasn't the first, she was the only one. Yuan Xia thanked Ziqi for always protecting her. While taking a bath, Ziqi practiced Xingnan's approach method again. He claimed that he was a scammer. Ning sent a video of Boss Wei pushing Yuan Xia into the pool. She said he had made an appointment with someone at the hotel, but they didn't show up. In the alternate timeline, Ziqi from 2025 was being investigated by the police for suspicion of being involved in Yuan Xia's death. He thought that the interference of the time-traveling phone had caused unpredictable variables in the future. Meanwhile, Ziqi from 2024 waited for Yuan Xia to go to work. She asked him to take her to the hotel by the lake. Knowing that Ziqi was afraid of her being traumatized by water, she confirmed that she wasn't weak. She wanted to learn how to swim for self-defense. Hearing Yuan Xia boasted about hiring a swimming teacher, Ziqi told her to call him Teacher Wei. They learned how to swim in a way that was as sweet as being in love. Looking at the scenic view, the hotel photographer asked them to pose for a couple's photo. Ziqi made an excuse about acting for 11 to get Yuan Xia to agree. He borrowed props from the photographer to prepare for his meeting with Levin Lin. They bragged about dating and taking a couple's photo. Levin Lin insisted that she didn't care because she wanted to be the last one to possess Ziqi. Boss Wei accidentally ended up taking a fake wedding photo with his small assistant. Coincidentally meeting Pei Shen, Ziqi quickly pretended to be Yuan Xia's boyfriend. He had already boasted to Levin Lin coming here for a vacation, so they had to stay at the hotel for a night. Ziqi said he would sleep on the sofa. Levin Lin unexpectedly brought food to check things out. Hearing Levin Lin's question about the blankets on the sofa, Ziqi quickly boasted, I just watched the movie Spring Night is Difficult to Seek, and I hope 11 won't disturb me. Yuan Xia was nervous seeing Ziqi in his swimsuit. She blamed him for dressing casually to meet 11. Ziqi walked closer, taking a blanket from the bed to cover 11's eyes. As expected, 11 Lin kept giving him cakes, flowers, and bringing him things to check things out. Unable to bear it, Yuan Xia grabbed the condom and approached Ziqi. She called the front desk to bring a few more boxes of condoms. Then she opened Ziqi's shirt and pinched his neck. Yuan Xia opened the door to get more condoms and scolded her boyfriend for taking more. Ziqi gently stroked her hair and praised her. "Assistant Win, you're very clever." Back at the company, Yuan Xia told Ziqi to wait for her before she came up to avoid colleagues gossiping. In the meeting, Ziqi said he had successfully negotiated with the investment fund, and they could officially launch the quantum communication project. At exactly 12 o'clock, Yuan Xia went outside to wait for the stranger's call. She received a text message from Pei Shen, asking her to meet at Miss Sun's wanton shop. Not seeing any calls from the stranger, Yuan Xia remembered smelling bellflowers on Boss Wei when she was at the hotel. She had also smelled that scent when her house was ransacked. She thought Boss Wei might be looking for the time-traveling phone. Hearing Ziqi's voice, Yuan Xia quickly hid her phone. She accidentally dropped her glass of water and cut her foot. Ziqi immediately scooped her up and took her to get bandaged. The next day, Yuan Xia went to give Miss Sun's granddaughter a full-month gift, conveniently waiting for Pei Shen. Receiving a call from the alternate timeline, she asked him who he was and how he knew the future. He told her to go to room 307. Yuan Xia remembered that was the house where the little boy used to live. She had been hiding from her father's creditors and took the little boy's younger sister. Yuan Xia asked where the little boy was in her timeline. The phone lost its signal. Yuan Xia remembered the first time she met Uncle Heng's son. She had seen a bottle of sleeping pills, so she often found excuses to stay in his room. She also secretly switched the sleeping pills with sticky notes. She was afraid of losing the little boy. Yuan Xia believed that the little boy was right next to her. Meeting Yuan Xia, Pei Shen asked her for one favor and then he would explain everything to his family. He boasted that he had just been transferred from a branch to the main office. He confessed that he would try his best to excel, so that the girl he liked would recognize him. In the timeline of 2025, Ziqi received a picture of himself and Yuan Xia as a couple. He admired Ziqi in the alternate timeline for being able to do that. He said he had interfered in the past so that Ziqi from 2024 could experience the moments he missed. To investigate his father's death, he had cruelly pushed Yuan Xia away until the last time they met. He didn't understand why she showed up at his engagement party and then died for no reason in 2024. Nining told Ziqi that she had taken care of the investment fund contract. Ziqi planned to conduct research at the branch where his father experimented in that remote area. He thought he would lure Boss Wei out and catch him. Nining worried that Ziqi's plan to lure Boss Wei would make Yuan Xia misunderstand. Ziqi decided to tell her first. It was time for her to know his true identity. Yuan Xia reviewed everyone around her to guess who the little boy was. She thought of Pei Shen because he had boasted about eating wontons from Miss Sun's shop when he was a child. Ziqi went home and caught Yuan Xia secretly writing his name. Looking at the slash, Ziqi blamed Yuan Xia for still denying him when he had tried his best. She said the slash had a different meaning. He quickly added her name and was lost in his fantasy. Yuan Xia invited Ziqi to have hot pot together tonight. He placed Miss Sun's wonton, Yuan Xia's favorite, in his office. Yuan Xia saw the box of wontons, just as Pei Shen came in to greet the boss. He asked her to have hot pot with him tonight, but Yuan Xia refused because she had a date with Ziqi. She thought to herself that Pei Shen might be the little boy and secretly bought her wontons. Ziqi prepared the hot pot table for Yuan Xia. She confided in him that she was happy today because she found an old lost friend. He had secretly bought her something with special meaning. Ziqi was overjoyed because she finally remembered him. She asked him to take the broken parrot to be disposed of tomorrow, and Ziqi angrily taught the parrot to call Yuan Xia by her childhood name, Yuan Yuan. He gave the broken parrot to Yuan Xia. As she was driving, the security guard asked her to park her car. Yuan Xia temporarily placed the parrot cage on the side of the road. Just as Pei Shen passed by, he boasted that he had also come here to buy food for the birds. The parrot suddenly called out, Yuan Yuan. Yuan Xia thought to herself that Pei Shen was the little boy, but she didn't want to reveal it yet. Nining caught Yuan Xia secretly watching Pei Shen. Yuan Xia explained that she was looking at Pei Shen because she felt he wasn't like her old friend. Ni Ning reminded her that the upcoming press conference to launch the project would have 11 invited. As she is the daughter of the sponsor and asked Yuan Xia not to mind, Yuan Xia received a text message from Ziqi saying he was having dinner with 11 Kun. However, she saw him get into 11's car. She went home to clean up the mess the parrot had made. Waiting for Ziqi to come home, she blamed him for having dinner with 11 Kun, but also having his little protector, 11 Lin, present. Yuan Xia was jealous and insisted that she also had a childhood sweetheart. Ziqi was overjoyed until he heard Yuan Xia say it was Pei Shen. Yuan Xia went to her room and berated herself for her uncontrolled mouth. She discovered the voice recorder was still on. She heard Ziqi teaching the parrot to call her Yuan Yuan. She was moved to realize that Ziqi was the little boy. No wonder on her first day at work. He said he had been waiting for her for a long time. He had been secretly protecting her and sending her signals to remind her of the past. Ziqi knocked on the door. He explained that he didn't know 11 Kun had asked 11 to pick him up. Yuan Xia bragged about having to call her little protector. Ziqi said he was avoiding 11 so he hadn't had dinner yet. Yuan Xia took him to the night market, making him buy street food and forcing him to wear floral shirts like a local. Boss Wei called from behind, saying he would handle the press conference, but he wouldn't take the blame for killing Ziqi's father, and instead would blame the mastermind. Yuan Xia knew that the person from the alternate timeline was Ziqi. He said that after she quit, they lost contact. Knowing that she had gone abroad, he called her, only to witness her death. He still couldn't find the murderer. Suddenly, Ziqi saw Yuan Xia in the hospital, and the grave in front of him disappeared. The past had changed. The doctor said Yuan Xia might not wake up. Despite that, Ziqi was still thankful that she was still alive. Back in 2024, Ziqi asked Ni Ning to bring Pei Shen to the press conference. She reminded him that Pei Shen was a formidable rival. Ziqi said he was keeping him close to control him. Ziqi waited for Yuan Xia to go with him, but she got into Ni Ning's car. Looking at Pei Shen driving on the other side, Ziqi was very envious. He wondered why she was still angry at him, wasting all the snacks he had prepared for her in the car. Ni Ning heard Xingnan's voicemail, blaming her for leaving him after flirting with him. He hinted at wanting to date her, not for any sexual reasons. Halfway there, they were stopped. 11 Lin appeared and questioned Yuan Xia about not having a backup plan for transportation. Hearing Ziqi ask where 11 Kun was, 11 Lin said her father suddenly got sick and she had to go in his place. Ziqi told Yuan Xia to cancel the press conference, and the announcement would be postponed to the launch ceremony the next morning. When they went to the Jumu resort, Ziqi thought of ways to coax Yuan Xia. Pei Shen gave each of them a room key and prepared warm water for Yuan Xia. Ziqi reminded her to drink less water to avoid bloating, as she had to appear in front of the camera tomorrow. Yuan Xia gave the water to Boss Wei, as he was naturally handsome and used to staying up late partying. With only the two men left, Ziqi said he didn't mind other people pursuing Yuan Xia, but on the condition that they truly liked her and not for any other purpose. Meeting Ziqi, 11 Lin said that she accepted being in this weird place because of him. Knowing that Ziqi didn't like her, 11 Kun sent 11 abroad, so she wanted to take this opportunity to end her feelings for him. Yuan Xia caught Ziqi walking with 11. Pei Shen asked her if she was jealous. Yuan Xia trusted Ziqi because he made her feel safe. Pei Shen confided in her that the girl he loved liked someone else, and he could only protect her silently. Thinking back to the wanton shop and the parrot, Yuan Xia wondered why Pei Shen had to pretend to be the little boy. 11 Lin asked why Ziqi didn't like her. He insisted that she was just the daughter of his father's friend, but the more Ziqi said that, the more 11 liked him. Ziqi thought 11 was blinded by a desire to possess him. He was just a suit she was interested in, but someone else bought it first. She denied it, saying she still put her heart into choosing birthday gifts for him every year. Even though she knew he wouldn't bother to open them, Ziqi apologized because his heart only had Yuan Xia. She was the only concern that made him want to crawl out of the abyss and towards the sunlight. He admitted that he hadn't officially dated Yuan Xia, but his feelings for her had never changed. Pei Shen caught an intruder in Yuan Xuan's room. He rushed in to save her, but only Ni Ning was waiting inside. However, the assassin wasn't Boss Wei. Seizing the opportunity, Yuan Xia deliberately went alone to lure Boss Wei. Sure enough, he appeared. Ziqi arrived in time to subdue Boss Wei to protect Yuan Xia. Boss Wei realized he had fallen for Ziqi's trap. He had planned to hold the press conference in a remote area, then hype it up and intentionally go into a restricted area to cancel the press conference. His goal was to lure Ziqi out. He warned Ziqi that it was just the beginning. Seeing Ziqi's worry, Yuanxia said she wasn't hurt, only that she didn't get to see the meteor shower today. Ziqi took her to a place. They walked together into a forest of fireflies. This was Ziqi's compensation for making Yuanxia miss the meteor shower. Yuanxia said, "Your appearance changed my life. When you lost your loved ones, the loneliness felt like the whole world was abandoning you. You allowed yourself to wallow in misery. Your call opened the door that separated the sunlight. You stayed by my side in your own way. You forced me to answer before you were satisfied. You cooked me noodles shaped like stars, wrote encouraging words, and stuffed them into a bottle of sleeping pills. You were the ray of light that pierced through the darkness, leading me to regain my hope of living. We once made a promise to watch the meteor shower together, but you broke your promise. Yuanxia, you are a part of my life." In the past, he had acted with Boss Wei for revenge. Whenever he was far from home, he would look at your nameplate, reminding himself not to let this ray of light be consumed by the darkness of revenge. "I apologize for not revealing my identity. Do you still accept a Wei Ziqi like this?" Yuanxia unexpectedly kissed him, and Ziqi said, "I like you. I really like you." Yuanxia said that back then, the little boy was also her light in the attic. He gave her warmth until he left. She was very sad because she didn't get to ask him his name. Later, Wei Ziqi was a rich kid with a silver spoon in his mouth. Yet he stood on her side to protect her when she was in danger. He risked everything, jumping into the water for her. Time and time again, Ziqi protected Yuanxia. All of Ziqi's actions were like the little boy in the attic years ago. He was a haven for her, maybe from the attic. Fate has tied us together. The little boy is Ziqi. I like Ziqi. He kissed her. The car was submerged, satisfying the longing of years of separation. In the alternate timeline, Wei Ziqi from 2025 hoped Yuanxia could wake up. Ni Ning called to report that she had found out the murderer was Pei Shen. Ziqi thought that he had interfered with the timeline to change Yuanxia's fatal outcome. But now he would change his methods. He wanted Yuanxia to give the phone to Ziqi to return to 2024, so that Ziqi and Yuanxia could publicly announce their relationship. Pei Shen saw them, and his face changed. He reminded everyone to prepare for the launch ceremony. Fearing that Ziqi's hand was still hurting from fighting Boss Wei, Yuanxia reminded him to protect himself. She remembered how Uncle Heng invited Yuan to eat wonton on Ziqi's birthday. Even though his son wasn't there, Uncle Heng always blamed himself for not fulfilling his responsibilities as a father when his wife died, and for not being able to get back in time. Yuan advised him to find a way to make up for it. It wasn't too late. He decided to call his son to wish him a happy birthday. Ziqi said that his father called that night, but he didn't answer. He hated his father for his work, for not coming home to see his mother one last time. When his father died, he felt very regretful and locked himself in the attic. Yuanxia thanked Uncle Heng for bringing her and Ziqi together. He apologized for breaking his promise to watch the meteor shower together. Yuanxia said she would give Ziqi a special gift if she got permission from someone. The press conference ended, and Yuanxia answered a call from Ziqi from 2025 who said he had changed the outcome. The person who put Yuanxia into a coma was Pei Shen. He told her to give the phone to Ziqi, but Pei Shen in the car was about to ram into Yuanxia. Ziqi suddenly appeared, ruining his plan. Ziqi recognized the quantum phone that his father had researched. Yuanxia boasted that the person on the other end was Ziqi from a year later. He said that the culprit was Pei Shen. Yuanxia bumped into Pei Shen in her office. He made up an excuse to bring food for Yuanxia. Pei Shen apologized for making her mistake him for the old friend she was looking for. The girl he secretly liked was Yuanxia. She confirmed that her heart only had Ziqi. During the experiment, Ni Ning discovered that the quantum communication signal was in the building, but she didn't know which device it was coming from. Ziqi asked Ni Ning to go find the source of the signal. Pei Shen asked to go along too. He quietly went to the fire escape and caught Yuanxia making a call. It turned out he knew the signal location in the fire escape. Specifically, the phone was in Yuanxia's hand. Seeing Ziqi, Yuanxia made up an excuse about having something to do in the afternoon and didn't leave work with Ziqi. Pei Shen followed Yuanxia to the bathroom. He hid in the stall next to her, and when Yuanxia left, he went in and took the phone, not knowing he had fallen into Ziqi's trap. Seeing Pei Shen's reaction, as if he knew about the existence of the time-traveling phone, Ziqi guessed that someone was behind him. But the person who knew about the time-traveling phone and wanted to get it was only 11 Kun. Sure enough, Pei Shen went to find 11 Kun. Years ago, Wei Heng had shared his achievements with his best friend. 11 believed that the time-traveling phone would bring him and Wei Heng endless wealth. However, Wei Heng didn't want to change the past arbitrarily because it might destroy the whole world. 11 insisted on investing in mass production for Wei Heng to create a new world. But Wei Heng refused. Just as Wei Heng was leaving, 11 Kun accidentally overheard a phone call from the future Yuan Yuan. She said that she had kept her promise and kept the secret about the time-traveling phone. Seeing Wei Heng, 11 Kun left. Because Wei Heng still insisted on not breaking the order of the world, 11 Kun threatened Ziqi and chased Wei Heng. 11 Kun sneered at Wei Heng for giving the phone to Yuan Xia so she could call and remind Wei Heng to be cautious, as 11 Kun tried to change everything. 11 Kun was smug because the phone was finally in his hands. He planned to call himself in the past to spend more time with his daughter. He would use the time-traveling phone to finish everything that hadn't been done. But Pei Shen thought Ziqi wouldn't reveal how to use the phone. It turned out that Ziqi had suspected 11 Kun since 11's party. He had promised to invest in Ziqi's quantum communication research, while he had stood by and watched Mu fall into crisis in the past. Yuan Xia remembered that when Uncle Heng gave her the phone, he told her that before 12 o'clock of the same day of the following year, Yuan Xia would call and remind the person on the other end not to reveal the secret of this phone. A year later, Yuan Xia had kept her promise, but didn't know the listener was 11 Kun. Ziqi believed that his father's death must have been related to 11 Kun. After his father died, 11 Kun thought the phone was in Ziqi's hands, so he told Boss Wei to monitor Ziqi's life. Finding that Ziqi didn't have the phone, he told Boss Wei to take him abroad. Yuan Xia remembered greeting 11 Kun at the party and suspected that Yuan Xia was holding the phone. He told Boss Wei to hurt her and steal her handbag. It wasn't in the bag, so Boss Wei went to ransack Yuan X1A's house. Because Boss Wei had to flee, 11 Kun sent Pei Shen to approach Yuan Xia. Ziqi thought it was time to take the initiative and attack 11 Kun. Wei Ziqi from 2025 heard that Yuan Xya's internal organs had failed and couldn't be saved. He asked Xingnan to call Ziqi in 2024, because his own call would be interfered with by electronic waves. Xingnan said that Ziqi had set a trap for 11 Kun by getting engaged to 11 Lin, but Yuan Xia showed up and left the party. We used the alternate timeline to change the past, but we still couldn't change Yuan X1A's fate because of the time-traveling phone. 11 Kun will use Yuan Xia to threaten you. Ziqi met Yuan Xia. Ziqi said that he had just called Xingnan from a year later. He said that he had tried many ways to prevent Yuan Xia's death, but ultimately he was back to square one. Ziqi wanted to take Yuan Xia abroad to avoid any possible harm. Yuan Xia agreed to leave. She knew he was worried about her. She thanked him for respecting her and asking her opinion instead of tricking her onto a plane. Ziqi promised to handle everything and fly over to find her. He would use the remaining days to spend more time with her. Ziqi knew that Yuan Xia agreed to go abroad so he could rest assured. He wanted to act against 11 Kun quickly, so he couldn't do anything to Yuan Xia. Nining thought that if Yuan Xia knew that Boss Wei was only telling half the truth, she wouldn't let him be. But Ziqi hoped that this time, he would completely change Yuan Xia's outcome. He reminded Xingnan and Nining to sign Yuan X1A's will as notaries. Nining thought Yuan Xia wouldn't sign the will. Ziqi assured her that with Yuan Xia's new vocabulary, she wouldn't know this was a will. He happily said he was going to pick up his girlfriend because it was going to rain tonight. On the other side, Yuan Xia was diligently studying a new language. She happily looked at her boyfriend coming to pick her up. Ziqi reminded her to sign the documents to study in France. As expected, Yuan Xia only knew 2 words in the will. She didn't hesitate to sign her name. Looking at the rain, Yuan Xia felt lucky to have him. Ziqi told her to remember to check the weather forecast in the future. He had prepared a weather forecast app just for Yuan Xia. That way, when she was abroad and he wasn't there, she wouldn't worry about forgetting her umbrella. The next day, Ziqi took Yuan Xia to the bookstore. He wanted her to catch up on her knowledge before going abroad. The bookstore owner said they were running a time-traveling postcard program. Everyone would go into a telephone booth, press a number to receive a postcard and send a message. The bookstore would send it out after a year. Then, the recipient would scan the QR code on the postcard to hear the message. Seeing Yuan Xia's excitement today, Zichi went into the time-traveling phone booth before Yuan Sha. When you hear this recording, you'll probably be blaming me for selfishly leaving you alone. When I found out about my future, I was happy because we were still together. But the happiness gradually turned into fear, because the more beautiful the past, the greater the pain of losing you. There were two turning points in my life. The first was the passing of my parents. The second was you. Since I had you, I realized that flowers don't bloom at their most beautiful. But the most dazzling thing is your smile. Yuan Xie, I love you more than anything. Yuan Xia said, Hi Ziqi. You will bring an umbrella for me on rainy days, and we will spend every day of the present together. I don't know if we will be married by then. If you haven't dared to propose, then I, from the past, agree to marry you. If I'm not there anymore, please be brave and move on. I believe that we will surely meet again in another timeline. On this side, Xingnan wanted to have a serious conversation with Nining. She agreed on the condition that she would decide where they would talk. Nining took Xingnan to the hotel to chat through the night. Seeing his hesitant look, she knew that it was the first time he had been to a hotel with a girl. Xingnan said he wanted to develop a serious relationship with Nining. She told him to wait for her to take a bath, and then they could continue talking. Xingnan was restless and had to take a sip of wine to calm himself down. Meanwhile, Ziqi bought a cake to celebrate an early birthday with Yuan Xia 2 months in advance. She said, I thought you were going to propose. Ziqi asked Yuan Xia if she would agree. She said that if they got married, they would have to sign a prenuptial agreement first, to avoid her being seduced by someone else while she was abroad, and also to always have half of his assets. Ziqi confirmed that he wouldn't restrict Yuan Xia. He wanted her to freely pursue her dreams. Even if she found someone better than him, instead of controlling her, he wanted to give her understanding and respect. He would love her for the rest of his life. Yuan Xia reminded Ziqi that he hadn't made a wish, but he didn't want to eat the cake anymore. He wanted to spend the most beautiful time with her. Early the next morning, Xingnan discovered that he was lying next to Nining. He remembered that he was drunk last night and had asked Nining why she always teased him. He pushed Nining down, intending to kiss her, but he collapsed. Nining sighed, because she had to eat a vegetarian meal for the night. At the airport, Ziqi reluctantly saw Yuan Xia off. She told him not to worry because she had Ziqi's reminder app. He promised to visit her after taking care of everything. Ziqi forced a smile as he watched his beloved's back disappear. He called Nining. Act now. In the alternate timeline of 2025, Yuan Xia received a letter that Ziqi had sent from the bookstore a year ago. She burst into tears when she heard his self-blame, his fear of losing his lover and his declaration, I love you. It turned out the past had changed. Ziqi had protected Yuan Xia with his life. He had left to change Yuan X1A's fate. After seeing Yuan Xia off at the airport in 2024, Ziqi had made an appointment with 11 Kun to visit the factory to see the results of his quantum research. Seeing that Ziqi was walking into the trap, 11 Kun ordered Pei Shen to arrange for him to be captured and force him to reveal how to use the time-traveling phone. Levin Lin secretly overheard this and quickly called Ziqi, but he didn't answer. She threatened to die if her father dared to touch Ziqi. 11 Kun told Pei Shen to take the phone and lock up 11. On this side, Xingnan wanted to replace Nining and go to the factory. Seeing his worry, Nining suddenly wanted to develop a serious relationship with Xingnan. She unexpectedly kissed him, causing Xingnan to obediently stay home, waiting for her to return. Arriving at the factory, Ziqi was captured by 11 Kun's men. He told Ziqi to stop acting. Ziqi said that if 11 Kun had been patient a little longer, he wouldn't have known that he was the real mastermind. 11 forced Ziqi to tell him the time-traveling phone's activation code. Ziqi sneered. If you don't know how to open it, then this phone is just a decoration. He threatened to go find Yuan Xia. Meanwhile, Yuan Xia was at the airport reading a new dictionary and discovered that the word in the document she had signed was a test will. She called Ziqi, but he didn't answer. On this side, 11 Kun insisted that he would catch Yuan Xia even if she was at the ends of the earth. Ziqi agreed to tell him the code for safety. 11 Kun made him write it on his phone. This was Ziqi's plan to let Nining hack into the phone and get evidence of 11 Kun's money laundering. Ziqi told him to wait another 2 minutes, as the time-traveling phone only worked at noon. During that time, Nining had already copied the data. 11 Kun received a call reporting that the evidence of his money laundering was spreading online. He blamed Ziqi for being more cunning than his father. He said he would make Ziqi pay for his father's death. Ziqi fought back against 11 Kun's guards, but outnumbered, he was knocked unconscious. 11. Kun had his men close the door and lock Ziqi in, then set the factory on fire. He called Pei Shen to open the safe and take the money to send 11 Lin abroad to live. It turned out that the person Pei Shen loved was 11 Lin. Yuan Sha, along with Xing Nan and Ni Ning, rushed to find Ziqi. At that moment, Ziqi woke up and answered Yuan Xy's call. He said he was in the cold room. Ziqi wanted to keep his promise to Yuan Sha. He wanted to visit her in France and bring her an umbrella whenever it rained. He was afraid he wouldn't be able to see Yuan Sha anymore. Ziqi woke up in the hospital. He apologized to Yuan Sha. She didn't blame him, because she knew he did it all for her. But from now on, she wouldn't believe men's words. Xing Nan felt relieved when Yuan Sha said Ziqi had woken up. He asked Ni Ning if she still wanted to develop a serious relationship with him. Xing Nan took the initiative to kiss her, and Ni Ning couldn't resist. Upon his discharge from the hospital, Ziqi went home and apologized to Yuan Sha. She asked him if he had any request for leaving all his assets to her. Ziqi changed the subject to French. It just so happened that Yuan Sha had just translated a portion of the will. Even though we are not married, you are my only concern, so I am leaving 54% of Mu shares and a 280 M2 house at number 2 Jiangjing to Yuan Sha unconditionally. Ziqi quickly apologized and promised not to do it again. Yuan Sha blamed herself for signing randomly. Ziqi reminded Yuan Sha that she hadn't translated the last sentence. She is not my wife yet, but she is my whole life. Yuan Sha said she didn't want to waste the present on things that happened in the future, or like Ziqi from a year later, abandoning the present for the past. She wanted him to promise that whoever left first, the one who stayed, would live well in the present and not dwell in the past. Ziqi sealed the promise with a kiss. They didn't know what would happen in the future, but they were very happy together in the present. Yuan Sha was worried because she hadn't received any calls from the alternate timeline in several days. Xing Nan called Ziqi and told him that 11 had committed suicide. Seeing Ziqi, 11 wanted to talk to him alone. She apologized for her father's actions of killing Ziqi's father and attempting to murder him. She blamed herself for not discovering it earlier to stop her father. Receiving a call from Pei Shen, 11 Lin was scared and avoided him. She said that her father had left a sum of money before turning himself in. But Pei Shen was ungrateful and wouldn't reveal the code and kept calling to threaten her. Ziqi advised 11 to listen to what he wanted. Pei Shen negotiated that he would tell her the code on the condition that she go to the bank with him to confirm it. After getting the money, Pei Shen would take half of it. Ziqi was suspicious, as Pei Shen was selling himself out to 11 Kun. But now, he was blackmailing 11. Yuan Sha remembered Ziqi from 2025, saying Pei Shen was the culprit. Ziqi thought his goal might be the time-traveling phone. They went to Pei Shen's hometown to find him, but he was well prepared. The villagers didn't know anyone named Pei Shen, but when they saw the picture, they recognized him as the little boy, Yudan. He had been abandoned by his father, and then taken by a lady from the city to live a good life. That was the connection between Pei Shen and 11 Lin. He told everyone to go back to the city, but he secretly went to Pei Shen's house. There, Ziqi saw a lot of tickets for 11's concerts. They were sure he was in love with 11, but didn't understand why he was blackmailing her. Ziqi thought that 11 Lin might be innocent or she might be lying, using Pei Shen to act as a victim. Ziqi, along with everyone else, ambushed Pei Shen's house. Seeing Yuan Sha's allergy, Xing Nan found the bellflower. The pot was still damp, so Pei Shen had been back here. Hearing a sound, Ziqi, Ni Ning, and Xing Nan immediately chased after it. It turned out to be the old neighbor. He said that Pei Shen gave him a hat and told him to run to his yard. Ziqi was startled and remembered Yuan Xia. He distracted Ziqi to kidnap Yuan Xia. Pei Shen called 11 Lin to report that everything was settled. Just as long as you are happy. He voluntarily got rid of all the evidence of threatening her. Yuan Xia woke up and quickly fled to the beach. Yuan Xia advised Pei Shen not to intentionally commit crimes. He said he had planned to hurt Yuan Xia for a long time. The person ambushing her home, telling Boss Wei her room number, and intending to ram into her car were all Pei Shen. He did it all to get the phone for Evan Kun. He sold himself to 11 for money. Yuan Xia believed that Pei Shen worked responsibly and wouldn't harm others for money. She thought he loved a girl to the point of despair and suffering. However, Pei Shen insisted that he did everything for money. Seeing Ziqi, Pei Shen threatened Yuan Xia. Ziqi advised Pei Shen not to be blinded by 11 Lin. Even if he took the blame for 11 Lin, she wasn't innocent. Pei Shen confided that he was tired of his love. He had wanted to get the time-traveling phone to change the outcome between him and 11 Lin, but life didn't have what ifs. Pei Shen pushed Yuan Xia away and jumped into the sea. Calmly regaining her composure, Yuan Xia confessed that when she was on the edge, she realized there was a greater regret she hadn't said. "I love you to Ziqi. Yuan Xia, we will always be together. After everything is over, I will take you to a beach and spend our days peacefully." Ziqi received a call from the alternate timeline. Yuan Xia from 2025 reported that because the past had changed, she and Ziqi from the future were both safe. She advised Ziqi from 2024 to destroy the time-traveling phone, because it was the root cause of everything. Even though you can change the past, it makes us wallow in the pain of the past and ignore the most valuable present. Ziqi agreed, because it was also what his father wanted. In 2025, Ziqi decided to do 1,000 things with Yuan Xia, taking her to a place. Ziqi gave Yuan Xia a necklace, admiring the memories of Ziqi from 2024. He wanted to do everything over with Yuan Xia, even overcoming the past. He wanted to give his beloved a truly unique wedding. When the photographer arrived, Yuan Xia realized that Ziqi had brought her here to take wedding photos. Next, he taught her how to drive. But 11 Lin was waiting at the bend to ram into Yuan Xia's car. In 2024, Ziqi heard that 11 Kun had passed away. He admitted to harming Ziqi's father, and also ordered Pei Shen to harm Yuan Xia. However, 11 Lin had never visited her father. Just when she called, it turned out that she was preparing to go abroad and wanted to say goodbye to Ziqi. Yuan Xia told 11 that Pei Shen had committed suicide. Previously, they had found many photos of 11 Lin performing at his house. 11 Lin said she had never met Pei Shen. She knew Ziqi suspected her, but she insisted that she wouldn't harm him. Yuan Xia answered the time-traveling phone. Ziqi from 2025 told her not to destroy the phone. He said that 11 Lin had attacked Yuan Xia in 2025. Yuan Xia bragged to Ziqi that she had accidentally broken the time-traveling phone. Knowing what she meant, Ziqi said he would bring it to the company to destroy it tomorrow. Speaking privately with Ziqi, Yuan Xia said that in the alternate timeline, 11 had hit her car, killing her instantly. Ziqi from 2025 deeply regretted teaching her how to drive. Yuan Xia remembered seeing many gifts at 11 Lin's house. Ziqi thought those were the birthday presents 11 Lin gave him every year, but he returned them. Only the year his father died, Ziqi was struggling to survive and didn't have time to return them. Searching for old mementos, Xingnan found that birthday gift. Yuan Xia remembered that she made the bracelet herself and asked Uncle Heng to give it to Ziqi. Even though he hadn't met him yet, Ziqi believed his father wouldn't have given 11 a gift that belonged to Yuan Xia. Xingnan thought that after a murderer with an antisocial personality kills someone, they would take something from the victim's body as a trophy. He said he had read about a case where the murderer killed the entire family of the person he liked, so the person he loved would only have him to rely on. Xingnan remembered that he had tested 11 Lin's psychology and found that she had a narcissistic personality and wouldn't commit suicide. Ziqi admitted that 11 was very cunning. She did everything, but 11 Kun and Pei Shen took all the blame. Yuan Xia decided to bait her and make 11 reveal her true colors. Because of her antisocial ways, she wouldn't let Yuan Xia be with Ziqi and die. She would find a way to cut off Yuan Xia's connection to the future in order to make Yuan Xia disappear. Knowing that Yuan Xia deliberately revealed that she would destroy the time-traveling phone to lure 11 Lin, Ziqi was afraid she would be in danger. Yuan Xia said the only way to change the outcome was to face her. Arriving at the intersection where the accident happened, Ziqi analyzed. If I was sitting next to Yuan Xia when I discovered the danger, I would definitely swerve left to avoid danger for Yuan Xia. But to protect me, Yuan Xia from 2025 sacrificed herself and crashed head-on into 11's car. If that's the case, then the person 11 wants to kill is Ziqi before she executes her plan. Yuan Xia guessed that 11 Lin would use Chen Chen to get the time-traveling phone. Chen Chen is Ziqi's assistant and also the head fan of 11 Lin's fan club. Answering the time-traveling phone, Yuan Xia asked Ziqi from 2025 to cooperate with her. When the phone was in 11 Lin's hands, he would call and report Yuan Xia's death. However, Ziqi from the future didn't agree because he didn't want Yuan Xia to be bait. Ziqi asked Yuan Xia to convey his regret that Ziqi from the future would not let it happen again. At the company, Yuan Xia deliberately let Chen Chen see the safe password. Sure enough, she stole the phone for her idol. Ziqi from 2025 called and said that Yuan Xia would be locked in the cold storage of the hotel by the lake. At that time, Ziqi wanted to get evidence of the crime, so he pretended to marry 11 Lin. 11 Lin answered the phone for Ziqi. On the other end of the line, Yuan Xia said she knew that Ziqi was the little boy, so she would go back to find Ziqi. At Ziqi's wedding, Yuan Xia was invited to the restaurant by the receptionist. 11 Lin told Pei Shan to capture Yuan Xia and lock her in the cold storage and put a lot of bellflowers in there, causing Yuan Xia to have an allergic reaction. Ziqi said that Yuan Xia's death was similar to the original timeline. The only difference was that his engagement to 11 had turned into his wedding to Yuan Xia, and Pei Shan was also dead. Seeing Ziqi's worry, Xingnan thought he was worried that 11 wasn't following the plan, but Ziqi was thinking of ways to propose to Yuan Xia. Xingnan suggested Ziqi refer to the love dictionary, living as you. However, instead of book knowledge, Ziqi wanted to show Yuan Xia his sincerity. Even though she might refuse because she wasn't sure what would happen in the future, Ziqi wanted to give Yuan Xia a sense of security. Ziqi nervously prepared to propose to Yuan Xia. Unexpectedly, she came down and said she wanted to marry him. Ziqi was both moved and laughing with tears, because his girlfriend had taken over everything. Yuan Xia asked Ziqi if he would regret it if one day their marital status changed to over the wife, marry the wife, follow the wife. That's Ziqi's reply. Yuan Xia, will you marry me? Yuan Xia made her husband kneel down before she would put on the ring. Ziqi kissed Yuan Xia again to complete the last step in the romantic proposal. On this side, Xingnan had already helped Ziqi prepare a dazzling proposal party. Unexpectedly, Ziqi reported that he was done so he wouldn't come. He told Xingnan to seize the opportunity and not waste the romantic atmosphere. Taking a sip of wine, Xingnan confessed, "I have never dated before. I learned all my knowledge about love online. Since meeting Ni Ning, I started to feel nervous, worried, and blush in front of a girl. That's right, Ni Ning. I've liked you since the story of Yuan Xie and Ziqi. I realized that it's difficult to meet someone you like, and even harder to be together for life, so I don't want to miss you because of my cowardice." Ni Ning asked if he regretted being with an adventurous person like her. Xingnan said that he was a doctor and would bandage Ni Ning when she was hurt. He accepted letting Ni Ning sleep with him, but she had to give him a title. Xingnan's sincerity moved Ni Ning. She would help Xingnan win Ziqi once. Tomorrow they would go to the Civil Affairs Bureau to register their marriage. At Yuan Xia's wedding, Ni Ning confessed that she had legally become married to Xingnan. On this side, Xingnan revealed his wedding ring to show that he had beaten Ziqi to the punch. 11 appeared in a black dress. She said, "This wedding was supposed to be mine." Yuan Xia was locked in the cold storage by her own hands. She's enjoying her dream wedding. Ziqi said that 11 Lin was his worst nightmare. She threatened to destroy the time-traveling phone so that Yuan Xia would never come back to life. Ziqi asked 11 if she had harmed his father for this phone. 11 Lin remembered Uncle Hang fleeing 11 got into her car. She advised Uncle Hang to give the phone to his father to end the chase. Thinking that 11 Lin was in cahoots with her father, Uncle Hang resolutely refused to hand over the phone. He accidentally fell down and hit his head on a rock. 11 Kun told his daughter to go abroad for a few years, and he would take care of everything else. 11 Lin hated her father for forcing her to go abroad, so she couldn't be with Ziqi when he was at his most miserable. So he fell in love with Yuan Xia. Meanwhile, Yuan Xia woke up according to plan. They had prepared fake flowers and turned off the air conditioning beforehand. Ni Ning came to open the door for Yuan Xia. Hearing that 11 Lin was in the wedding hall, Yuan Xia realized that the person she wanted to harm was Ziqi. On this side, 11 Lin admitted that she knew Ziqi's plan. But ever since he rejected her confession, 11 Lin had shifted all her hatred from Yuan Xia to Ziqi. 11 Lin wanted what she wanted, only Ziqi never looked at her. He even trampled on her pride. 11 Lin threw away the time-traveling phone and charged straight into Ziqi. Yuan Xia ran over to protect her lover. Ziqi embraced Yuan Xia, terrified. She made him destroy the time-traveling phone, so he wouldn't have to live in misery like Ziqi from 2025. She hoped he would carry love and move forward. Ziqi carried Yuan Xia to the hospital, but her fate didn't change. Ziqi stood silently in front of Yuan Xia's grave. The happy house was now only occupied by Ziqi alone. Looking at old mementos, Ziqi scanned the code to hear Yuan Xia's message from before. "Hi Ziqi. You will bring an umbrella for me on rainy days. Cook for me. Take me to the market. and spend happy days with me. I bet you're moved to tears now. If you haven't proposed yet, then I will reveal that I agree to marry you. If I'm not there anymore, I just hope you don't get stuck in the past. I believe that we will surely meet again. I hope to see you in another timeline. Going downstairs to meet Xing Nan and Ni Ning, Ziqi said. After tomorrow, all the memories of Yuan Xie will cease to exist. It turned out he decided to call back into the past to forget Yuan Xia. In front of Yuan Xia's grave, he called her in 2024. He introduced himself as Uncle Heng's son in the attic. He asked her to hide the phone in the attic. Knowing that she had problems with her job, Ziqi advised Yuan Xia to quit Mu. He assured her that Ziqi was protected by his father's will and that she should take the severance pay and go abroad. Come back to China in 2 years. He hoped that the next time they met, she would be healthy and happy. To save Yuan Xia, Ziqi had to cut off the connection between him and her. The memories changed unexpectedly. Following the little boy's instructions, Yuan Xia resigned to thank him for the severance pay. Yuan Xia sent Ziqi the evidence of Boss Wei's crimes. Ziqi was happy to hear that Yuan Xia had taken the money to study in France. Ziqi brought the evidence and caught Boss Wei at the shareholder meeting. Seeing Yuan Xia's grave disappear, Ziqi was delighted that she was still alive. He ran back home, but all the mementos of Yuan Xia gradually disappeared, leaving only her student name tag. Ziqi sadly hugged the only remaining memory. He gradually fell asleep and returned to the attic. Ziqi saw the time-traveling phone with Yuan Xia's message. I hope the little boy lives happily, waiting for the fog to clear so that he can greet the sunshine. Thank you for the present because Yuan Xia is alive. Ziqi decided to throw the time-traveling phone into the sea. He decided to live well. Sometime later, Ziqi was crossing the street and saw a familiar figure. He was disappointed because it wasn't his beloved. Back at the company, Ni Ning reported that she had investigated Yuan Xia's activities over the past year. However, Ziqi only wanted to know that she was happy. He hadn't dared to look for Yuan Xia because he was afraid she had found someone she loved. Knowing that she had returned to China, he didn't even dare to go out. Even though she had forgotten everything, all the memories were still intact in him, even if they only appeared in his dreams. Ni Ning revealed that Yuan Xia was still single. Ni Ning advised Ziqi to find Yuan Xia because the matter of 11 Kun and 11 Lin had been resolved. On the other side, Yuan Xia suddenly burst into tears. Her best friend was curious because every night Yuan Xia would cry terribly in her sleep. Yuan Xia found it strange too, because she often dreamt about being in love with a man she didn't recognize. But she felt the dream was very real. Yuan Xia received a reservation from a guest at her homestay. Unexpectedly, it was her former boss, Ziqi. Arriving at the place, Ziqi saw that Yuan Xia had realized her dream of opening a hotel by the sea and living peacefully. But to avoid her former boss, Yuan Xia had fled the hotel. Ziqi suddenly appeared. He said he was here to keep his promise to Yuan Yuan. All the memories of their beautiful love suddenly returned in their entirety. Ziqi could once again see her smile. But my sunshine, Yuan Xia, to me, flowers don't bloom at their most beautiful. It's you. Ziqi woke up startled, looking for it. It turned out that he always kept his marriage certificate under his pillow to feel real. Yuan Xia kissed her husband to reassure him, but Ziqi needed something more real. Fortunately, the screenwriter had opened a way out for Ziqi and Yuan Xia to have a happy ending. If you had the time-traveling phone, what would you change in the past? Please like and subscribe below to follow more great movies on the channel.